What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and everybody's going crazy about this power-up situation. Yo, G, what is happening with the power-ups, yo? What are they doing? Well, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys what's happening with Madden 23 Ultimate Team and why they chose to eliminate the power-ups primarily, except for Legends. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break that down just so you guys have some insight. For the no money spent players, you're going to have a lot more issues unless you use these legend players, because it looks like a lot of the things that went on with the power-ups, right? I believe that it's a storage space issue. Like, it's too much work. Look, they can make a lot more money not dealing with power-ups and just having more of the different type of cards on the server. Like, you see, I have 721 versions of power-ups. You guys understand what's going on with that? And this is like an average binder. So everybody has to have a certain amount of binder space on their team in order to be able to, you know, play the game properly. So I think eliminating like all these base cards, like it's so many random power-ups that nobody ever uses. So they're trying to say, you know what? We're going to give you like the card itself, and we'll give you different options within the card. Like certain high over elites will have different, you know, options to change teams, change positions, you know, secondary positions, things like that. So it'll be gone, but not all the way. Because it'll only be the legend programs and select programs that'll have power-ups. So for those of you guys that primarily base your team on getting a lower version of the card, you're gonna have a different avenue of attacking the no money spent. Because realistically, what all of these power-ups, you know, I had no use for a lot of the power-ups that I'm going through right now. There's literally zero reason to have these many cards. Like, this many cards in your binder is ridiculous, because what happens is you end up having to quick sell them and get rid of them because you're not going to use a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? So EA is just like, look, a lot of these cards are not being utilized. We have a lot of, you know, a lot of, you know, server space being taken up with power-ups. It's a lot of different variations of what's going on ultimately with the game. And I just think at this point, they're going to be gone. Now, remember this, though. As far as the legends go, when they drop the legends, that has already been confirmed. You are going to have the opportunity to power up legends. And the reason that I say that may be the primary focus of the no money spent players is simply because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. Because if you can't power up players and the basic elites cost that much, you're going to be between a rock and a hard place. You're not going to be able to really do a lot of what you want to do. It's going to be a lot tougher to not spend money because you're going to have to get the actual card. And now that affects the market. Because now if you can't get a version, say for instance, right, a lot of people, you know, when Darren Waller, a current player, you know, we're going to use him as an example because he's 6'6", he's one of those big body guys that I, you know, pretty much utilize a lot for my ultimate team. Right now, he's a 78 speed. So you would get him as a power-up, and then most of us would just say, you know what? We're going to power him up to a certain part to where his item is like right here, and he goes up to an 85 speed. So now what EA is saying is, I'm going to give you the elite card that's going to already have an 85 speed, but there's no other way for you to get this card. So now, you know, instead of getting up to this point right here where he's like an 83 speed from a 78, now you got to spend the money for whatever his base core elite is, and now you're at the mercy of the market. All right? So do I like it? I don't really care either way. Because the power, like I said, the power-ups take up a lot of space in the binder, but I understand some of you guys are outraged by it because you're starting to see where EA is heading. But again, depending on how they drop the promos, it may not heavily affect you. And I'm going to tell you why. Throughout the year where they dropped these challenges, you know, for the legends and stuff like that, there were a lot of opportunities to, you know, otherwise to get power-ups. So when you would go over to like one of the legend situations, let me see, what do they have it? They like right here, right? And you would get like different versions. Okay, well, they're knocking me out. You can't even get to them right now. They're probably working on the 23 server, so they're like, you know what, bro? We're knocking everybody out of the servers for any previous challenges. So if you're trying to do challenges right now, probably going to get that error message, but it's all good. I just want to give it to you for the visual aspect. There are different avenues. Let's try to see if Ultimate Legends work. Does this one work? Okay, so this one is good. So they would give you different versions, collectibles. You know, with this one, it was collectibles that turned into players, but when it was the Legends, you were getting different versions of the player. So you would get, probably in most cases, a power-up, right? And that power-up, you would use training to get to a certain point. And if you couldn't afford the card, you just didn't afford the card. And it was as simple as that. There was nothing else with it. It was as simple as that. Everything was good and you were done. Now, that's the only way to actually get power-ups is through Legends, Ultimate Legends, and, you know, specific promos. So it's not like the no money spent is actually dead completely. It's just the fact of, yo, look, bro, if you want to get any of the base elites, which they're starting to show, you're going to have to spend money for it. So what are the other options, right? Let's say, for instance, you're like, yo, G, look, listen, I'm not spending nothing. After I get the game, I have no interest in spending anything, right? Is there any hope for me because of what they're doing with the power-ups? Absolutely. Now, look, this is where it gets really, really interesting, right? The power-up passes. We know, right, that the power-up passes were primarily used for those reasons. They didn't say anything about the power-up pass, but I think they were getting annoyed with the fact that we were like getting that Gronk for free, like just throwing a 99 power pass for them. They're like, yo, why are these guys taking advantage of all of these new cards using power passes? This could have also been a reason behind why they did it. You see what I'm saying? Because now, if they it would make no sense for them to have power passes if they eliminate for the majority of the game, you know, power-ups. So now you would have to go and spend to get these cards. This is the problem. And this is what we're facing right now. And I don't think a lot of people realize objectively what they're doing. Eliminating these is what the problem is. Because now, listen, bro, you're not getting any card that you thought you would get otherwise super fast, or if you already had them at a certain level and then you got a power up. I would be shocked if they continued with this, because this will completely eliminate the reasoning behind removing the power-ups. You see what I'm saying, guys? So as far as it being hope for it, it is, because you can always play the challenges, get some of those BNDs, which is similar to NCATs, and build your team otherwise. But you're going to get a lot of free players that have no other value. So what I'm saying is the grind is going to be a lot more steady. You won't be able to take advantage of a lot of the other differences within the game itself, simply because more than likely these are gone. I've seen no mention of it, and it doesn't make any sense to have it if most of the most of the cards are gonna be gone. Now we have to wait to see if they would end up doing it later, but I highly doubt it, because why would you do power-up passes for only Legends and specific promos? Kind of doesn't make any sense. So you guys would have to focus more on challenges, on the house rules, on a lot of the stuff that they're going to be promoting to get free cards. And that before we could just say, you know what, some of these I'm not going to do. If you're no money spent, you got to do all of them. There's no other option. You're completely done. There's nothing else you can do. Everything about the game is completely over as far as being able to manipulate the fact of, yeah, bro, I don't got to pay for that 99. I could just throw a power pass in. Now you're paying for everything. And that's the bottom line. And that's ultimately where they're going. So, you know, at the end of the day, what are our choices? We're going to have to grind more with the game, and you're going to more than likely have to spend a little bit more money. And if you're no money spent, you're going to have to take advantage of those weekly $5 packs. And that's probably going to be your way of escaping what EA is trying to put forth. But I understand, like, always having a power up for these lower level players, and it gets really annoying. And I guess it's just less work for them. But focusing on the weekly packs and other different ways of utilizing training would more than likely help you along your no money spent path. I hope this video has been informative. If it has been, go ahead and sub, like the video, share it, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, all at GmiasWorld, and watch me play live on Twitch as well. I'm going to see you guys soon. Enjoy your day. One love, y'all.